Cambridge, Maryland. Cambridge is a city in Dorchester County, Maryland, United States. The population was 12,326 at the 2010 census. It is the county seat of Dorchester County and the county's largest municipality. Cambridge is the fourth most populous city in Maryland's Eastern Shore region, after Salisbury, Elkton, and Easton. Settled by English colonists in 1684, Cambridge is one of the oldest colonial cities in Maryland. At the time of English colonization, the Algonquian-speaking Choptank Indians were already living along the river of the same name. During the colonial years, the English colonists developed farming on the eastern shore. The largest plantations were devoted first to tobacco, and then mixed farming. Planters bought enslaved Africans to farm tobacco and mixed farming. The town was a trading center for the area. The town pier was the center for slave trading for the region, a history documented well in historical markers throughout the town center. It was incorporated officially in 1793, and occupies part of the former Choptank Indian Reservation. Cambridge was named after the city and county in England. The town became a stop on the Underground Railroad, which had an extensive network of safe houses for slaves escaping to the north. Cambridge developed food processing industries in the late 19th century, canning oysters, tomatoes and sweet potatoes. Industrial growth in Cambridge was led by the Phillips Packing Company, which eventually grew to become the area's largest employer. The company won contracts with the Department of Defense during the First and Second World Wars that aided its growth. At its peak, it employed as many as 10,000 workers. Changing tastes brought about a decline in business, leading Phillips to downsize its operations. By the early 1960s, the company ceased operations altogether. This led to wide-scale unemployment and added to the city's growing social problems. During the period from 1962 until 1967, Cambridge was a center of protests during the Civil Rights Movement as African Americans sought equal access to employment and housing. They also sought to end racial segregation of schools and other public accommodations. Riots erupted in Cambridge in 1963 and 1967, and the Maryland National Guard were deployed to the city to assist local authorities with peacekeeping efforts. The leader of the movement was Gloria Richardson. With the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, public segregation in Cambridge officially ended. In 2002, the city's economy was boosted by jobs and tourism associated with the opening of the 400-room Hyatt Regency Chesapeake Bay Resort. This resort includes a golf course, spa, and marina. The resort was the site of the 2007 U.S. House Republican Conference, which included an address by U.S. President George W. Bush, as well as subsequent visits by U.S. President Barack Obama. Cambridge was designated a Maryland Main Street community on July 1, 2003. Cambridge Main Street is a comprehensive downtown revitalization process created by the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. It plans to strengthen the economic potential of select cities around the state. The initiative has led to enhancements of its heritage tourism attractions. Together with other cities on the Eastern Shore, Cambridge is attracting more tourists. It has revitalized its downtown business district, part of which was designated a historical district in 1990. 4 different teams in the Old Eastern Shore Baseball League, the Canners, Cardinals, Clippers, and Dodgers, were located in Cambridge. The Brincefield Dye Site, Cambridge Historic District, Wards 1 and 3, Christ Episcopal Church and Cemetery, Dales Right, Dorchester County Courthouse, and Jail, Glasgow, Goldsboro House, Law Grange, Annie Oakley House, Patricia, Pine Street Neighborhood Historic District, Rock Methodist Episcopal Church, Stanley Institute, Sycamore Cottage, and Yarmouth are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Cambridge is located at 38 degrees 3359 N 76 degrees 437 W, 38.56639 degrees north 76.07694 degrees west, 38.56639, 76.07694 coordinates, 38 degrees 3359 N 76 degrees 437 W, 38.56639 degrees and 76.07694 degrees west, 38.56639, minus 76.07694. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 12.64 square miles, of which 10.34 square miles is land and 2.30 square miles is water. Cambridge is on the southern bank of the Choptank River. The climate in this area is characterized by hot, humid summers and generally mild to cool winters. According to the Köppen climate classification system, Cambridge has a humid subtropical climate, abbreviated CFA on climate maps. As of the census of 2010, there were 12,326 people, 5,144 households, and 3,040 families residing in the city. The population density was 1,192.1 inhabitants per square mile. There were 6,228 housing units at an average density of 602.3 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 47.9% African American, 45.9% white, 0.4% Native American, 1.3% Asian, 2.0% from other races, and 2.5% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 4.9% of the population. There were 5,144 households, of which 31.1% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 30.0% were married couples living together, 24.0% had a female householder with no husband present, 5.1% had a male householder with no wife present, and 40.9% were non-families. 34.1% of all households were made up of individuals and 12.8% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.31 and the average family size was 2.93. The median age in the city was 37.6 years. 24.5% of residents were under the age of 18, 9.6% were between the ages of 18 and 24, 24.9% were from 25 to 44, 25.6% were from 45 to 64, and 15.4% were 65 years of age or older. The gender makeup of the city was 45.8% male and 54.2% female. As of the census of 2000, there were 10,911 people, 4,629 households, and 2,697 families residing in the city. The population density was 1,622.3 people per square mile. There were 4,629 housing units at an average density of 777.6 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 47.75% white, 49.9% black, 0.16% Native American, 0.65% Asian, 0.01% Pacific Islander, 0.61% from other races, and 0.87% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 1.44% of the population. There were 4,629 households, out of which 27.2% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 30.7% were married couples living together, 23.1% had a female householder with no husband present, and 41.7% were non-families. 36.1% of all households were made up of individuals and 16.7% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.23 and the average family size was 2.88. In the city, the age distribution of the population shows 24.4% under the age of 18, 7.9% from 18 to 24, 26.6% from 25 to 44, 22.3% from 45 to 64, and 18.7% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 39 years. For every 100 females, there were 84.2 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 78.9 males. The median income for a household in the city was $25,967, and the median income for a family was $32,118. Males had a median income of $25,705 versus $21,221 for females. The per capita income for the city was $15,647. About 17.2% of families and 20.3% of the population were below the poverty line, including 25.0% of those under age 18 and 18.6% of those age 65 or over. Cambridge was the inspiration of the fictional town Potomac in James Michener's novel, Chesapeake. In the book, Potomac is located on a fictitious promontory on the Choptank River, opposite of Cambridge's actual location. Some broadcasts AM and FM radio from Cambridge. WHCPLP 101.5 FM is a community-sponsored low-powered station broadcasting from studios in downtown Cambridge. The Dorchester Banner is a weekly newspaper published in Cambridge. The paper was founded by Lindsay C. Marshall and Armistead R. Mitchie as the Daily Banner, notable for being the Eastern Shore's first daily newspaper. The first issue was published on September 22, 1897. Bach operates a virtual studio at the Cambridge Yacht Club. Weeknights they cover news affecting Cambridge and surrounding communities. This is known as their Mid-Shore Bureau. U.S. Route 50, a major east-west route of the U.S. highway system, bisects Cambridge on its 3,011 miles journey from Ocean City, Maryland to Sacramento, California. US 50 is locally known as Ocean Gateway and alternatively Sunburst Highway. The Cambridge-Dorchester Airport is a county-owned, public-use airport located just southeast of the city of Cambridge. The airport is a general aviation facility with a lighted 4,477-foot asphalt runway. The Maryland and Delaware Railroad, a short-line railroad, provides freight rail service to Cambridge. The city is the western terminus of the railroad's Seaford line. The Maryland and Delaware interchanges with the Delmarva Central Railroad at Seaford, Delaware, which in turn interchanges with the Norfolk Southern Railway at Clayton, Delaware.